that wonderful intro. I am super excited to be here with you and everyone today to learn how we can tackle one of the most difficult topics that we deal with in our industry, which is retail. Right? It's a constant struggle, and it's been harder and harder over the last several years. I'd say specifically the last 5 years, post pandemic, as online shopping specifically has really grown um, along the way. So I'm gonna be sharing my screen here a little bit, but I would love to start just by throwing a question out there to everybody. Thanks for being on here and all your hellos where you're coming from, Chicago, Sacramento. Happy Thursday, everyone. I'd love to know, because we're going to talk about how we can use digital at the same time to be helping us both with retail sales and client loyalty and utilizing technology to our advantage. How many of you have a love-hate relationship with technology? And maybe in the chat you can just say love or hate or a bit of both, which often seems to be the case. But I'd love to sort of see where everybody stands as it pertains to technology today. Love it, hate it. Tell me. All right, let's see what we got here. Both, love it, bit of both. Yeah, that makes sense. Nobody says hate, which is good. we're in a good space, at least from that standpoint. Love-hate relationship for sure. I work in the space myself. I definitely have a love-hate relationship with technology. There's times where it can do so many good things for us, and there's times where it's just so incredibly frustrating. So what I'm going to try to share with you today is some easy ways that we can utilize technology to help us grow those retail sales. All right, I'd love to find out very quickly. Most of you have dropped in the chat kind of where you're from. I'd like to know what your role is in the salon world. Are you, an independent? Just tell me if you're an, independent stylist, independent esthetician. Are you working in a larger salon? Are you a salon owner, salon manager? If you could just kind of quickly give me that sense, that helps me get a sense of who's who in the zoo, as I like to call it. So independent hairstylist, new amazing. And hello, Gloria from Pocono Mountains. That sounds lovely. Independent esthetician, independent contractor, contractor stylist. Hey, educator. Oh, great, Judy. All right, thank you for joining us. Hairstylist, freelance makeup artist, another educator. Okay, good to see. We have a bit of a mix of different disciplines. My name is Scott Moon. Shannon did a wonderful intro, so I don't need to talk anymore about sort of my background. Salon S.O.S. I started this company. So I used to work, as Shannon mentioned, for the largest hair color manufacturer in North America, #1 brand. You might be able to guess what it is. I was there 14 years, and when I left, I decided I loved the industry so much. I just got tired of the corporate world and all the internal bureaucracy. I wanted to be out there helping salons because that's where I felt the most useful. I felt the most value. When I was out at events and hair shows and trainings, and that's where the connections were happening and the eyeballs were lightening up and the aha moments were happening. And I want to do that more on a regular basis. So I started this company, Salon S.O.S, about 8 years ago now. And our mission is very clear: to make sure that every salon professional can have online marketing tools that grow your business at extremely affordable prices. Right? I've seen so many marketing agencies out there that are not specialized for the hair salon industry, and they'll be happy to build you a website and to do your social media. They'll also be happy to charge you, right, what they're expecting from bigger corporations. They don't necessarily have an understanding of the small business mentality, especially not individuals, like independents, right? But you still have your own business. You're a business of one, and it's still a business. So that's what we do. Our services range from website creation and maintenance e-commerce, like online sales if necessary, Google search rankings, right? This is a really, really critical one for businesses. If you haven't been thinking about, am I ranking high in Google and your SEO? We do Google Ads, social media, obviously in-person trainings and webinars, which is what we're doing here today. And we have a loyalty app that's for your customers, which we'll actually be touching upon a little bit later when we get into best practices around client loyalty. So let's delve into how to be growing your retail right off the bat. And I'd love for you, again, just to mention to me in the chat here, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have in your business for selling retail today? Let me know in the chat. What are some of the challenges? What are some of the obstacles that you deal with on a regular basis that makes it harder and harder for you to sell retail out of your location? Obviously, if you're an independent, you're probably working out of a suite and you don't have a lot of space, for products. Clients are seniors, listen only to their doctor. Oh my goodness. Okay. I hope their doctor is not recommending them a color treated shampoo, but online sales, definitely, Catherine, great one. Daniel, same thing. Clients prefer to buy online. I hear you. This is a big one. Amazon, same thing. Yep. Encouraging staff to participate. Great one, Andrea. Yeah, that can be a challenge for sure. I hear this sometimes, and I hope it's never happened to anybody on our webinar today, where a client like literally takes a picture of the product that you've been talking about so that they can go and buy it somewhere online. That's obviously frustrating. We got price points, choosing the best brand to retail. Okay, for men's services, got it. How to create an Amazon store. Ooh, wow, nice one. Okay, Jacqueline, that sounds like you've had a yes of someone taking that picture. It's just like cringe. Yes, that would definitely be really frustrating. But we're going to talk about how we can utilize some of these things to our advantage. And where I want to start is talking about what do consumers want. It's very important when you're coming from a marketing background as I do. It's all about consumer behavior and understanding what consumers want and then how we can capitalize on that to deliver it to them. So there's 4 key decision-making criteria that consumers think about when they are making a purchase decision. And this is for pretty much any product. This is not just for beauty products. So we've got information. Consumers want convenience. Consumers want quality. And consumers want value. Okay, these are the top 4 purchase decision factors. And I'm going to go through each of these to see how we can take advantage of them in the salon environment to maximize our opportunity to get them to buy from us and not from someone else. Let's start with information. This is critical. I'm not the only one. You probably said this to yourself. You've heard this in the industry. Many people in our industry do not like to sell. They do not want to be salespeople. They don't like to be salesy. And one reason why we don't end up selling a lot of retail products is just because we hold ourselves back because we don't want to be salesy. So my number one message to you is you do not have to sell products. Okay, we have a couple of educators on the line. You are a beauty expert. As a beauty expert, you advise, right? You can be educating your clients about their look, about the beauty, and about what products are being used to achieve that. I have a very important question that I really want you. This is for the hairstylist, but if you're makeup artist, esthetician, do you use? I want you to answer yes or no, please, in the chat. Do you, when you have a client in your chair, whether it's for makeup or whether it's for styling, do you use either shampoo, conditioner, or styling products, or again, a makeup product on your client during their visit? Simple yes or no, please, if you actually deal with clients. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. No to Gloria. I'd be curious to know how you perform hair without using products, but because okay, fair enough, Gloria. Thank you. But anyone who is doing, client's hair or again makeup, you cannot provide that service without using products. So that's the first thing. So if you're using products to achieve the result for the customer, and customers like information, the first thing that you can be doing, and just this alone will do a world of wonder for you, is be consistent by telling clients what products you are using on them and why you chose those particular products for them. Every single client, every single time. You are the only person who's doing this for them in their world. They are not getting this information when they are on Amazon. They are not getting this information if they are in a drugstore, looking at a wall full of drugstore products. You are their beauty expert. They come to you and they spend anywhere from 45 minutes to a couple of hours, right? You can be just telling them the products that you're using on them every single time that you're doing it. While you're doing it, it's part of the conversation. You're the beauty expert. I'm telling you, just this alone will have a significant impact. Here's a little bonus. Show them how to use the product, not just what products and why you chose it, but show them how to use it. Because one of the common lines from a customer is, I can never get my hair to look the way it does, right? The way that you do it when I'm in the salon with you. My hair never looks as good as it does when I'm in the salon. So I could turn that around if I was a stylist and go to my customer, Stephanie, and say, Stephanie, would you like me to show you how you can use these products every day back home so that you can get the best out of the look and try to recreate this look? What's Stephanie going to say? She's going to say, oh my gosh, that would be amazing. I would love that, right? You're doing their hair anyways, right? You just have to turn it a little bit more educational and just tell them some of this information. How much of the product are you using? Where are you applying it, right? How are you applying it? How are you brushing it through? How are you using the hot tools? Just give them some tips. They are going to be so grateful, so thankful. They love information because otherwise they're just, getting this information off of TikTok or YouTube or, somewhere online. They're trying to learn this stuff. Why not get it from you, their expert? So show them how. Bonus number 2 would be to make tutorial videos, right? To show clients how to use your products to maintain their look, right? Very easy for you to do. Making some tutorial videos about various different products that you have for sale in your business and showing clients how to use them. This is kind of an ongoing video that could last, and I'll show you, you can use it in various ways, but having it on YouTube for people to be able to access it on a regular basis would be great. So digital tool number 1, okay, to grow your retail is styling tutorial videos. But this can happen at the chair. Look at this picture. Okay. This is rarely done, but it's so easy for you. How about next time that you have a client and you're at the finishing stage of doing their hair or their makeup or their skin, to say, Stephanie, who's my client, for some of my clients, I'll actually record how I'm going to style your hair so that you can have a copy of that, right, to see for the next couple, few weeks until you come back to see me again, how to style your hair in the best way to recreate this look. Is that something that would be interesting for you? What do you think Stephanie is going to say? Write it in the chat. What do you think Stephanie is going to say if I offer her that I can record myself doing the styling, the finishing of her hair so that she has that video to be able to watch over the next couple of weeks? Stephanie, again, is going to be ecstatic. Stephanie is going to say, OMG, thank you. She's going to say, wow, nobody has ever offered to do that for me before. None of the other stylists that I've been to. This is a way for you to differentiate yourself also as a stylist, right? You're really taking your expertise to the next level. And it's not going to take any additional time for you. Just set up a little little mini tripod or something that sits on your station, right, that can capture it, and then just do your work. Go about doing your work, but just, speak a little bit to it as you're doing it, showing how to use it. And the best, I mean, you can do this with her phone. Do it with your client's phone. That way they have it directly on their phone and they feel such a personal little added touch that makes that experience exceptional. It's going to be much better for you to help get, people to write reviews about you, maybe make referrals. There's all sorts of added benefits to this as well, beyond just what it can do for the retail, which we're going to come to. All right, so you're talking about the products in the stage. Digital tool number 2 is, like I said, making more generic product tutorial videos. So not with the client, but just you with a product, talking about, how to use this product, why this product is special, how you apply it, how you get the most out of it. And you can do that for multiple products, quick little videos, a minute, 2 minutes. You know that people like just, short videos. You can post some of these on social media from time to time. I would certainly encourage you to have it stored on a YouTube channel with all these videos that you create for multiple products. And then you can direct people, whether it's from your website or just when you're talking to your customers. This can be a little gift with purchase. When you purchase, this particular product, you are going to receive a special product tutorial video that I've made that comes with it. So you're getting an added value with that purchase. Again, we're trying to add value for your customers. And these are things that they can't get on Amazon. They can't get with drugstore products. Right? It makes you unique and special. And it's all about utilizing your gift of being an expert and providing information. Okay, the second factor that consumers want is convenience. We all want convenience in life. So they are in your salon talking about their personal beauty needs for, again, typically anywhere from 45 minutes to a couple of hours, depending on their service. What could be more convenient? They're in the mind space of talking about beauty. They're having beauty services performed on them. You're talking to them about the products. There's no more convenient time for them to walk out the door with that actual product right then and there. If we are consistent about talking to them about what products we're using, why we chose it for them, and the bonus, showing them how to use it. Right? Now, I understand sometimes a customer is going to say, well, you know what? I actually don't need any more shampoo right now or hairspray because I still have, half of a bottle at home. So therefore, it may not be convenient for them to buy it on the spot right now. I recognize that. So you want to make sure that you have a strategic checkout to make the link between the products that you're using and the information that you're giving them and when they are walking out that door at the checkout. Of course, you want to get their next appointment booked, but you should have the products that you used on them during the service, the ones that you've already talked to them about why you've chosen those products. You want to have them at your checkout location, whether it's a counter, bring them and just place them on the counter so that they're visible. And I would, as I'm doing the checkout, how's your hair? How are you liking your hair? And they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, it's amazing. I love it. Let's get your next appointment booked. Try to get that scheduled. And I'd say that these are the 3 products that I used on you today that we talked about. Now, one thing that we know that consumers like is consumers like choices also. They don't want to be thrown something. So we can either give the choice. This is what typically says, do you need some shampoo to take home with you? Something like that. Would you like to buy one of these products? Is a typical way that beauty professionals are asking today. And that gives the consumer 2 choices, either yes or no. Now, when I ask questions, I like to give people also 2 choices, but the options are yes or yes. Okay, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So rather than saying, do you need some shampoo to take home with you? Would you like to take these home? I'm going to have those maybe 3 products, 4 products, however many I use. I'm going to have them on the counter. I'm going to say, Stephanie, these are the products that I used on you today that we talked about. Which ones would you like to take home with you today? I'm giving her the choice. Which ones would you like to take with you today? It's an open-ended question for her to answer. I could say, would you like all three? Or is there one in particular that stood out to you? And it's gonna get her to think differently. I'm not giving her the option to say no. She's now thinking, and she might default to be like, well, I'm not sure if I want to buy three. So I've given her the out. I've given her the option to not go for the three because that might be a big demand. But the option is now buying one. Which one spoke to you the most? And she'll likely be like, oh, that the styling product you mentioned was pretty interesting. Great, you know what? And then you can kind of carry on. Maybe you have a retail special, on a sale that you can use to kind of try to close that out. Another thing that is convenience is online sales. And we know you all mentioned it at the beginning. Consumers are buying online today at Amazon, other online locations, and they're doing that most likely because you don't offer online sales. So if they don't need the products today because they still have half a bottle at home, and in 3 weeks from now they realize they're starting to run out and now they need the product, now it might be more convenient for them to just order it on Amazon, or when they're at the grocery store or the drugstore doing their other purchases, they just pick up a product that happens to be there, a drugstore brand, because it's convenient. It's not convenient for them to go to your salon outside of their regular schedule. But if you have an online store available to them and you talk about it regularly, Stephanie says, you know what, I'm at the salon. I have still a half bottle. I don't need anything today. You know what? No problem, Stephanie. I totally understand. When that comes down the next couple of weeks, I want you to know that you can replenish it on my online store. Right? You don't need to go to anywhere else. I have the products for you. And many customers, honestly, they want to support you as a small business. And if you're offering the same convenience, if they're going online to buy something, whether they buy it from Amazon or they buy it from you, most people would actually prefer to support the local business. But you have to have that online store in the first place. Now, a lot of distributors in the US have an online store service that you can tie into. Some of you might have heard of Salon Interactive. Maybe some of you have, an online store set up. I can understand that setting up your own online store on your own and being responsible for taking orders and shipping is a lot of work and maybe not something that you are prepared for, and that's okay, which is why there are certain systems out there that it's already done for you. The other company, a distributor, receives the order and they ship it for you, and you get essentially the amount minus a percentage that the distributor takes, obviously, because they're handling the logistics and the shipping around it. So that makes sense that they're going to take, a cut on that, but you're still getting a sale, right? Versus no sale whatsoever. And I highly encourage you to have that opportunity available. Companies with dropship, Gloria, it's a great, great thing to think about. So if you have an online store, this is digital tool. Number 3 is having an online store allows you to offset people saying, oh, I'm going to go buy on Amazon, taking a picture of this so I can go buy it online. Well, where are you going to go buy it online? Did you know that you can buy it online from me? Right? I have an online store and I would love for you to check it out. It has all the products you need, the ones that I have been, recommending to you, and whatnot. All right. Online sales can be a little bit difficult because, again, how are they going to think about you versus Amazon 3 weeks from now? So think about this. They receive emails and flyers from other retailers all the time, right? The grocery store, the drugstore, Amazon sends, Prime Days. They're getting all this information. And typically they're not getting any information from salons between visits other than maybe a confirmation of their appointment. You need to communicate as well. You have to keep your customers engaged between visits. This is today's digital era. Okay. So digital tool number 4 to grow your retail is having digital communication between your visits. And it can be as simple as an email, right? Here's a couple of examples of a nice email, little newsletter. And it doesn't have to be salesy. It doesn't have to be 25% off, whatever. You can have a nice email that gives an update, information about your business, maybe information about products, something that's new, and a link, to drive people to your online store, saying, hey, are you short on products? Don't forget, you can buy them from me directly at my online store. Click here. If you do have some kind of promotion going on, then obviously you would want to feature that. But the email doesn't just have to be about a sales promotion. You can talk about what's new in the salon, what's happening, maybe you have an article if you're writing, blog articles. And if you don't have an article, you can just do like a mini tip, tip of the week. I would be recommending sending a weekly communication to your customers just to keep that connection with them. Give them updates, give them information, give them education, give them knowledge. That's what you have that nobody else out there has when it comes to the beauty space. Use that to your advantage. On social, right? If we're talking about online store, you can be doing this through obviously promotions. We talked about blogs, I mentioned emails and text, but you can also be doing it on social media. Here's one example of a social post that the Redken brand actually puts together with some of their ambassadors. But think of how simple it would be to get a picture of you doing a client's hair and then just overlay a product and the name of the product. And you can have a link in your social post that goes to your online store for people to go and check it out. And it showcases you as an expert, right? And you can have many of these with different products. It's a very cool way of presenting, you and products and highlighting that they can purchase it. Consumers purchase products all the time. The question is it going to be from you or from someone else? And you have to give them as many opportunities and reasons to have them do it from you. Today, they just don't know all those options and they're bombarded with all the other options that exist, which is why they're purchasing more elsewhere. Andrea, your question is, oh, Andrea from Forever Young, amazing. Should we do the same post on social media and SOS? You're talking about the loyalty app, which we're going to get into, or should they be different? So when you're sending out an email or a text message and you have an image associated, you can definitely have the same information as your social media because it's two different venues. You don't know if people are going to see your email and also your social media post. The reality is that typically only about 5% of your followers are actually going to see any given post that you make. So if you have 1,000 followers, only 50 people are going to see any given post. Email, a lot more people are going to see that post, but you want to be consistent for sure. The more that you're consistent, you have an in-salon poster, you have a social media, post, you have an email that all say the same thing and have the same imagery. Now you're like layering on top and you're being more consistent with your message. So there's this recognition, this recall. So definitely you want to have a consistency across that. Okay, the third aspect is quality. Consumers want quality. And the fact that you work in the professional beauty industry, you are working with professional products and they are technologically better. That's a fact. And if you work with brands that are well known, then it's even better because those brands are already doing the marketing and communication for you. Some salons say, oh, you know what, I'm using this Italian, brand that I found that, it doesn't exist anywhere else. I mean, that might be great, but since no one's ever heard of it, consumers don't necessarily know what the quality level of that is. Like, is it, professional? Is it the same quality as some of these like bigger brands that I've heard of that I see all over the place? So I, caution people, sometimes against using these sort of no-name brands, because then you're responsible for doing all the marketing and all the communication about those products. Quality comes through with your service, right? You have the advantage of providing an experience, right? Showing them how to use the products. That is actually part of the quality that you're associating with the products that they don't get when they're just on Amazon, that they don't get when they're in the drugstore, they don't get anywhere else than with you. You've got to maximize your time with them. Don't just sit there and chat with them about their weekend and their vacation plans. That stuff is good, it's relationship building, but in the total time that you're with them, you have to be talking about the beauty and the expertise, giving them that information, because it adds to the quality. Okay. Finally, work with brand names that people know. It adds credibility. I just spoke to that point. Okay, so that's something that I highly recommend. I'm not making any specific recommendations, but work with brand names that people know. All right, the fourth thing that people want is value. Everybody wants value. Everybody wants to feel like they're getting a deal. Even people making millions of dollars a year, they like to get a deal. Okay, so how do we do that? Well, rather than discounting all the time, think about value add. How do we add value? I understand we don't just want to be doing 20% off, 25% off. Let's think about how we can add value. You buy something and then you get something additional as a result. How many of you struggle coming up with promotion ideas, special offers, and whatnot? You can just tell me in the chat, yes, no. I'm just curious if it's something that you do promotions, but you have trouble coming up with ideas. Yes, yes, yes. It's typical. I see this quite a bit. Okay, a lot more yeses coming through. All right. So one thing that we've come up with to sort of help on this is we've created something called Salon Promo Box. Okay. And what this is, if you look in the orange box, it's a collection of proven salon promotions, okay, ideas, plus all the ready-made marketing materials to help you promote them both online and in salon. Okay, so for example, we have a whole bunch of promotion ideas that have proven to be successful, okay, both on the retail side and the service side. You can kind of go in and choose the one that's right for you, that you like. You select it, and when you purchase it, you actually at the same time receive 8 digital files, 2 Instagram posts, 2 Instagram stories, 1 Instagram reel, 1 website banner, right, of the size that you can put in your website, because that's another area that you can be talking about products and promotions. And you get a file for an in-salon poster and an in-salon shelf talker that you can print locally and put. And they're all consistent based on my answer to Andrea's question earlier. The branding is consistent. And what's cool about it, we've created 4 versions, because every salon has different, brands. So we've created a version that's a little bit more with like a red color theme, one that has more of like a black color theme, one that has more of a blue color theme, and one that has more of sort of a neutral beige color theme. So that way you can find something that fits with your salon, branding and image. So this exists. It's pretty straightforward. We have a whole bunch of different packages where you have specials. You can, buy 3 of these for $40, only $13 each. 12 for $120, so it's like 1 per month essentially. It works out to only $10 each to get all that information. And best of all, we're putting here just for you guys on this call 50% off, valid for the next week. Okay, if you use the code EBS May when you go to the store. So, I mean, it could work out to $5 per promotion, where you're going to get all the tools. You're going to get the idea plus those tools to go along with it. So if that's something that's interesting, take note here of the website address. We've got a QR code that you can scan to go directly to that page to take advantage of that special offer before the end of the month. Really a tool that was asked for by salons when it comes to promotion planning. Okay, that'll give you some ideas about how you can add value. Another thing that's adding value is points. People are obsessed by points, right? Loyalty programs are everywhere. The question is, what are you doing to reward your clients for their business? right? Loyalty programs are not nearly as strong in the salon industry for some reason. They're just not apparent. People don't think about it. So I want to talk to you about what makes a kick-ass loyalty program, points program that you can operate easily in your salon company. Keys to success. The most important thing for any loyalty program in any industry is the client needs to be aware of everything. Why? Why do they need to be aware? Well, let's think about it. The objective of a loyalty program is that you want to change the behavior of the consumer. You want them to do something different. You want them to purchase more, or you want them to come more frequently, right? But you're trying to change that behavior. If somebody is not aware of something, then they are not going to change their behavior. So you have to start with awareness. It is critical, and it is often missed by many loyalty programs out there, not just in the salon industry, but in other industries as well. One of the biggest mistakes that salon owners do make with their program in our industry is that they have it embedded in their POS system. And when that happens, the customer is not aware of it because the points are just being added automatically in the background into the system. And the person who's checking out the client 9 out of 10 times at least is not actually talking about it. It doesn't say, oh, you just earned, X number of points today. The only time they talk about it is when the customer has already earned enough points over their visits, because these systems, they have a pop-up on the screen and you cannot move forward unless you deal with a pop-up that says they have enough points. So then you say, oh, Stephanie, I noticed that you have enough points today for $10 off your bill. Do you want me to apply that to your bill? And Stephanie, being a smart, savvy consumer, is going to say, oh, sure, of course. And she's going to take the $10 off. But you've just given away $10 for free. Customer has to be aware at every point in the process. So another important key to success is you have to engage with clients between visits. I talked about that already, just as it pertained to retail, the importance of staying engaged with clients and having communication with them between their visits. Really important when it comes to successful loyalty programs as well. You want to keep them updated on their status and opportunities to earn points. You want it to be personalized. In today's world, people like that it's personalized. And you can do this now with digital tools. Right? And you need to have more than just points and rewards. If we think about a successful loyalty program that you use yourself often, it's probably now that it has an app, it's an app-based program, and there might be, special offers and coupons, and you're probably receiving updates from time to time. It's more than just an old school points card, right? Like a physical coffee card where they just give you like a stamp. That's like the old school version. But now with digital, you can do so much more, and that keeps it engaging for customers. So digital tool number 5 is to have an actual digital tool, a loyalty app. And I'm going to share with you quickly an app that we offer that's had great success over the last 7 years in our industry to help salons, specifically when it comes to growing retail. We've seen great results. So this app is customized for your business, right, with your logo and a specific point system that works for you. There's no cards for the customer. It's fast scan. The customer actually scans a QR code to earn the points into the app. There's no special hardware or software that you need. You just need this QR code that we essentially prepare for you. You can print that out on a paper. Very easy to use, custom rewards, gross sales. I think I have a 45-second video here that shows how it actually works at salon level. So you can see they just scan that QR code and the points get added into their account, and they see it. They're aware of it because it's on their phones. They can redeem directly from their phone, right? Once they have enough points, again, they can see all the reward options. So very, very, let's say, customer friendly, because they have access to everything at their fingertips. Everyone's on their phones all the time. Benefits of loyalty programs when you implement them properly is that it can increase your average ticket. Customers will spend more. How does that happen? Well, here's a testimonial about it. We have lots of salons that have seen growth with retailing because you can upsell at the checkout, right, based on the stars. It says clients often purchase extra at the desk to get past that next points threshold, right, which is going to qualify them for rewards. And we actually provide a script guide that has intelligent verbiage about how to communicate the program to your guests to help you capitalize on those opportunities to upsell essentially at the desk. Second benefit of having a really strong loyalty program that's digital is you can have more effective promotions. Right? So in our particular app program, we have a tab for the customer called Deals, where they can see, it's almost like your own personal notice board where you can put special offers and promotions that the customers can see. Right? And then they can click on that and they can get those additional rewards. So it might be different opportunities to earn points, or stamps. Maybe you're just promoting a new product. It's really a notice board, feature board that you can have, but it's more effective for your promotions as another avenue for you to communicate them. Stronger data and communications, obviously, the fact that it's digital, you have the data of all the customers, all their names, all their phone numbers, all their email addresses. You'll have their birthday, and you'll have access to know, when they earn stamps, how many stamps they have, and the fact that you have their email and phone number. It's great for communication because you can send messages between visits, as we've been talking about. Loyalty also can help increase new client retention. We know that when someone comes and visits you for the first time, it's critical to get them to come back that second and third visit. And you can have specialized coupons directly just for those customers that only those customers would see. And it goes into a special tab called My Rewards. Those are personal. And you can see an example here of a new guest, complimentary treatment. You can make it, expire on a specific time. You can put all sorts of details there. Quickly on packages here, we have 3 different packages based on the size of your salon. If you're an independent, which a lot of you are, you're going to want the starter package. And if you are truly on your own, we actually include the automated offers for you, which is a really great tool to automatically send birthday messages to customers, automatically send messages if they haven't come to visit in a while, right, with a sort of "we miss you" to get them to come back, automatic messages after their visit to say thank you and ask for reviews. So really, really valuable tools available as part of those messaging options. A couple other testimonials. This is a business coach who's an owner of a salon at the same time. They grew their retail sales by 18% in the first year after using the loyalty app. Really, really great results. Another business coach, for anyone who knows SSBC, and owner of a salon, this one's in Virginia. Again, loving the fact that it's driven sales. We see this over and over again from our customers. So want to have another special offer for anyone who's interested in learning. We're going to have our questions section here coming up in a minute and a half, I think. So, but I want you to be aware, if anyone's interested in trying this, it's such a great tool. We're going to offer you free setup. You might have seen on the pricing page, normally there's a $100 one-time setup fee for us to build your custom app. We're going to offer that for free to anyone who wants to sign up and try this. And this is going to be valid for the next 2 weeks until June the 6th. So be happy to connect with you if you want more information. We have demo videos, full demo videos that you can watch to get a better sense of how everything works. Be happy to share any of that with you. All right, so just a quick recap. The 5 digital tools that we talked about, those styling tutorial videos, the product tutorial videos, the online store, having communication between visits, and having a digital loyalty app. With that, I'm going to ask if anyone has any questions. We can write them in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer any and all questions. to help you get the most out of this session.
Awesome, Scott. I can hop in here. Thank you so much for being our host today. We can now move into questions and answers. We did have a question come in from Andrea concerning content. Should we do the same posts on social media and SOS, or should they be different?
Yeah, and actually, I had caught that. I think I answered that. Andrea, if you're still here, can you confirm if my answer was suitable for that question? Because I did touch upon that kind of midway through the presentation.
Okay,
yes, you did. Okay, so I did talk about it, and I said yes, it's ideal to be consistent and have the same image, same information, both on your social media and your emails and your in-salon, communications that you might have through posters and on your website, right? You want to have multiple touch points of the same information, same branding, so that you're hitting the consumer from every possible angle with the same message.
Awesome. We had a message come in from Lorna. Scott, I'm a mobile pedicurist. I use my products on my clients and educate them about it. But because they get it in the service, they don't see the need to buy it to have it, and they are not able to apply it.
Because, can you repeat that last part? Because they get it in the service?
Because they get it in the service, they don't see the need to buy it or to have it and are not able to apply it.
And this is mobile makeup services.
Mobile pedicurist.
Pedicure, sorry, mobile pedicure. Understood. Okay, because they're getting the service, and during the service they're having their nails painted, they don't see the need to purchase products for take home. So, I mean, I guess if they're coming to you frequently enough that, every time that they need to repaint their nails, they're coming to you to make that happen, then that's great, because you're getting both the service and, they're paying a product cost as part of that at the same time. So, I mean, that's ideal. It would be for customers that from time to time are doing their own nails that you would want to be educating them. So I would be having the conversation to say, do you ever do your nails yourself? And you probably know, based on the frequency of how often that customer is coming to visit you, whether they, might be doing something on their own in between. And if you feel like that's the case, that's when you can be educating them. So while you're giving them the pedicure service, saying, you know what, I understand you're probably not coming to me, every single time. I want to make sure that if you are doing this, you're using the right products. And, this is the product that I'm using on you, and this is why I'm using that for you, right? And the benefits of it. And I would highly recommend, to get the same quality result, that you use that between our visits together.
Awesome. We did have a couple comments. Your tips were helpful. I will try one of them. Thank you so much.
Nice. Throw some questions, people. Come on, we're here. This is your opportunity. And I love nothing more than helping people in the beauty industry. I tell you, that's my number one personal mission. Is I want to provide as much value as I possibly can. Being on these sort of trainings is the thing that I love to do the most. I don't love, building the websites and all that stuff. I actually love the trainings where I can provide insights and value. So please take advantage of it. If you have any questions about anything, I'm more than happy to answer them with you.
We did have a couple of the same questions come in regarding the webinar replay. The recording will be sent to your email, most likely by tomorrow. So that we'll have the full recording there, Scott's information to contact him, website, Salon S.O.S. Information, as well as the special discount offered here for this webinar exclusively.
Yeah. And Andrea, if you're still here, because I noticed Andrea is actually using our loyalty app in her salon company today. So I might just put you on the spot, and it could be detrimental for me. I don't know. But Andrea, I'd love for you, if you are there, to just maybe you can share some feedback with everybody else here about what the benefits have been for your company in using that.
We did have a comment come in from Andrea. I had an online store and just recently shut it down. For the cost for shipping and percentages taken by the online company, it wasn't worth it. Our clients purchased during their visits.
Yeah, so I mean, If you are happy with your retail sales and you feel like you're getting enough sales from their visits, what they're purchasing, then great. Most, salons and most, salon professionals, independents are not happy with the amount of retail sales, and it can be a huge boost from a profitability standpoint for your business. You ideally you want 20% of your revenue to be coming from retail sales. That is a really healthy balance to have a profitable business in our industry. Is you want 20% of your sales to be coming from retail. So if you're not there and it's not happening from people purchasing when they come, that's when I would say having an online store gives the opportunity between visits. And yes, the distributor who is managing the shipping and the logistics of processing the order, of course they're going to take a percentage, and you might only end up with, I don't know, 25% as opposed to 50%. But I always say that 25% is better than zero. So and we know that people are purchasing elsewhere. So I would like to try to maximize my opportunity to get as much of the pie as possible.
Awesome. Question from Lorna. When a product is sold cheaper than you can offer, how do we add value to the sale?
Can you repeat that,
When
Shannon?
a yeah, when a product is sold cheaper than you can offer, how do we add value to the sale?
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So sometimes products are sold cheaper elsewhere, especially like larger, maybe like larger chain salons, and so price point can be different. I think how do we add value? I hope that I gave a bunch of tips already throughout the presentation about that. You being the beauty expert, talking to the customer, giving them information, right, about what products you've used, why you've used it, why you've chosen it for them, how to use the product, uh, recording yourself, giving them that video of you actually styling their hair and showing them how to do it or apply the makeup. That's huge value, and that's worth something to the customer. Are there some that are going to take all that information and be grateful for it, but then still go and buy a product cheaper elsewhere? Yes, of course, we're not going to capture 100% here, but I think what you can do in terms of providing value is all of those things that we've been talking about, and know that if you do the right thing, you have the right intentions, you're giving yourself the best opportunity to maximize the potential sales. And you'll probably get more. Well, I promise you that you'll get more than if you weren't doing any of those activities and you weren't talking about the products and you weren't, giving advice and education. So that's your specialty. That's where you really can differentiate yourself, is by being the expert, the educator around it. So keep doing that, and it will stick to the process. It's a common term, but yes, that will continually help. You're very welcome, Jonah, for that. And Judy, thank you for being there. Andrea, I see that Andrea replied with her feedback about the app, that it's been amazing so far. Clients love the convenience. Andrea still has to figure out all the marketing features to properly utilize some of those messaging features, I guess, that I was referring to. So Andrea, we'd be happy to set up a call with you to help review that and make sure that you're maximizing all those great features.